Today I fucked up a marriage. Obligatory. This didn't happen today, but a couple of weeks ago. So I sometimes drive for rideshare companies to make extra cash and keep me off of the couch. I live in a touristy area that booms during summer months and vacation rental homes are common. So common that I sometimes do pickups and drop-offs at the same homes for different people week to week, and family/friend groups of people renting the homes are the norm. One particular day I dropped a guy off at a boat. Today I fucked up a home near the beach, but I had picked a guy up from just an hour or two prior. So as we arrive I mentioned this to the rider. Me, hey, I just picked one of your buddies up from here about an hour ago. Rider, no, must be the wrong house. Me, nope, he walked right out of that side door. I dropped him off at Name's local bar. His girlfriend is still in there though, she stayed behind. Rider, this is a family-owned home, it's been in my family for years and we don't rent it out. Nobody lives here but me and my wife, and I've been in NY for work for the past 4 days. Awkward silence as we both come to the realization. He got out and I drove away scolding myself for having such a big mouth. Too long, didn't read. I may have ruined a marriage by trying to make small talk with my big mouth. Edit. Thanks for all of the support, guys. I know I did nothing wrong, I just hate being involved in other people's businesses, especially when it's so negative. Also, thanks for the silver and platinum awards. But did he give you 5 stars? I absolutely would. It would sting like hell, but I would be grateful if I found that out. That guy would eventually find out. You saved him years of his life. Later today, on our /relationships. Found out through an Uber driver that my wife is cheating on me. How do I proceed? Really, you just saved this guy a few years of his life before he figured it out some other way. The odds of getting away with stuff are worse and worse as humanity gets more and more connected. This is not a fuck up. You are a hero. Today I fucked up by stumbling on my 19 years/oh son's Reddit and reading through it. Dear Lord. On my main account I came across a comment on a post in an Ask Men sub. It seemed vaguely familiar, so I clicked the username and looked through the profile. I click on profiles all the time if a comment seems familiar or interesting. This is my son's account. It has to be. The comment he posted is about something that happened while I was there. He had a more detailed post about that specific day. He had another previous post about an event in his life I knew about and knew some details about. He had a few other posts which I also read. I now know what gets him going sexually. Not something I needed to know. I know what his girlfriend likes sexually. Also, not something I needed to know. Also quite surprising. I know how embarrassed he felt about an emotional time he had somewhat recently with my wife. I feel kind of heartbroken for him about that one. I know that when he was younger he snooped in mine and my wife's room. In reading through the comments he's made to others, I've learned that he is wise beyond his years and an incredibly kind human. I feel very proud about that. Overall, I wish I never clicked that first comment. I know way more about his sex life than a father should. Too long, didn't read. Accidentally discovered my son on Reddit. Found out about his kinky sex life, some heartbreak, and that the little fucker has snooped through my room. Edited to add, yes, I shouldn't have read all of it. And some posts I stayed away from. And honestly, I didn't realize it right away. The first post I read sounded like him, but there are millions of Redditors. It was after another that I really put the pieces together. And yeah, there might be some hypocrisy about being slightly mad about him snooping through my room. But hey, life isn't always fair. I also have no intention of tell him, or anyone else anything I read. At least you didn't learn that he fucked the dog or something. No, apparently it was the GF that is into the weird stuff. Edit, well, thanks for my first gold. This wasn't quite how I envisioned it happening, but I'm appreciative all the same. If he's an avid Redditor, I can't imagine he couldn't figure out that you're his dad from this post. Poster beware. In 2019, all family meetings are conducted via open letters on Reddit. Contentious issues are now dealt with via throwaways instead of at Thanksgiving. Family members who frequent T_D are still shadow banned from the real parties, however. All the 19-year-olds scramble to see if it's them. I am not even 19 and I got worried. Then he said girlfriend and I knew it wasn't me. Deleting my account now. He actually did it. If you think your kids haven't snooped through every nook and cranny in the house, you are naive lol. Got some secrets hidden in a dark corner of the attic/basement. They've been all through of it. No corner is spared from the nosy fuckers. Even worse than my breakup the year before. This actually happened 2 years ago on this day, which will make sense a little further down the road. In 2016 I started using Tinder for the first time after a shitty breakup. I had met a few people but nothing had ever really panned out beyond a few hookups. My profile was filled with some horseshit along the lines of not the love of your life. Perfect date for when you want your family to question your life choices, and was mostly filled with pictures of me hanging out with my dog. Fast forward to March of 2017, and I matched with someone. After a couple of one-off messages that don't really go anywhere, we ended up talking one night and stayed up till 5 AM messaging each other back and forth. A couple nights after that, we decided to meet up and she invites me over to her house for dinner. This all sounds great. Except for 2 problems. The first problem is that I have a beard in all of my photos. And even calling it a beard is a bit of a stretch. My facial hair is like if someone shaved a guinea pig and then superglued it to my face. If I grow it out too long, it looks like a tuft of pubes growing out from a chin. Wiry and sparse. It's not good. For 6 years, I'd still kept a reasonably trimmed beard length because it was better than nothing and actually looks full when it's shorter. But for some reason, the week before we started talking, I had decided to shave my face for the first time in years. I just wanted to know what it looked like. The answer? Not fucking good. At this point, I was 27 but still looked young for my age. Shave the beard off and I look like a 12-year-old with a bunch of tattoos and insomnia. Really fucking awkward. So I pulled up to her house and texted before I got out of my car to say, hey, by the way, if it looks like a 15-year-old is knocking on your door, it's just me. Luckily, she's not as turned off by my baby face as I expected. All good so far. I went inside and we end up hanging out all night. She cooked a badass dinner and we decided to watch a movie. She was blown away by the fact that I'd never seen Labyrinth and demanded we watch it. We ended up watching 3 movies that night. For Labyrinth, I was about 5 feet away on the couch. For Young Frankenstein, we were sitting next to each other. For the 3rd movie, which I can't remember for the life of me, we were cuddling. And this is where the second problem comes in. After my breakup in 2016 and realizing I'd been battling lifelong depression, I started taking antidepressants. One of the super fun side effects of SSRIs is that it can be really hard to climax. Like, try as you might, nothing. Dust, moths. Nothing. Thanks, Big Pharma. And so commenced the next 2 hours of the worst sex either of us had ever had. 2 hours of awkwardly grinding and sweating, stopping to try new positions, and statements like holy fuck I might have a heart attack. Why are my ears ringing so loudly? And what about this position? Ouch. Oh my god, I need a towel. So much sweat. I can't see. We were in the basement on a large 3-piece couch. You know, one of those ones with seams to connect the pieces. Well, at one point I tried to plant my toes in the seam to get some traction, and ended up kicking the couch piece away from us and sending us both flying to the floor. A bruised ass, a bent dick, a lot of questioning of whether this was a good idea. If this had been a movie or a romance novel, a 2-hour sex binge sounds like a dream come true. Well, let me tell you that shit sucks if you haven't done any cardio in your fucking life. And Jesus Christ, the sweat. So fucking slippery, and gross. This wasn't golden light streaming through the windows and we're both glistening sweat. This is Bob Monster's come to life, sweat. This is Ace Ventura crawling out of the rhino sweat. At one point our chests become suction cupped together. I could have run and slid on my belly down a hallway like a naked nightmare slip and slide if my heart hadn't felt like it was going to explode. And the chafing. Fuck. No matter how ready either of y'all are when you start out, after 2 hours, it's gonna wear off. We both felt like we'd attacked our bits with sandpaper. My poor unfulfilled dick just went through hell for nothing. Not to mention that she just spent 2 hours with a baby-faced human who couldn't make her come and who might die of cardiac arrest in her basement. This was no climactic movie sex scene. This was a John Waters film come to life. Well, after 2 hours and no coming, we called it a night. It's obviously not gonna happen for either of us and we figured we might as well quit while we're ahead and no one has died. We went outside for a smoke and at this point it's about 6 AM. I'm wearing only a hoodie and briefs and she's only in a bathrobe. We sit down and the next thing we know, her mom came out for a cig. She had just moved back home before finding a new place. So not only did we both just have the worst sexual encounter of our lives, but now I get to meet her mom for the first time. Great. I'm definitely not half nude, covered in sweat, and sitting next to her half nude adult daughter. Somehow she is completely unfazed by this whole encounter and actually starts going on about her most recent Tinder match with a self-proclaimed oil baron. Life is fucking weird. Well, the reason I am posting this on March 14th is because this is our 2-year anniversary and we're engaged to be married on March 14th of 2020. Our sex life is far better now and we both look back in humor/horror on that night and wonder why the fuck we decided to keep hanging out afterwards. I mean, now we know, but our past selves must have been really desperate. Too long didn't read, I met up with a Tinder match one night, only to have the worst sex of either of our lives, and met my future mother-in-law right afterwards. Now we're engaged and celebrating our 2-year anniversary. Edit, just jumping in to say, holy shit y'all, thanks so much for all the congratulations. I am still wholly undecided if I will ever show her this post. It's one thing to tell all our friends about our first hookup, it's another to tell the whole internet. We'll see though. And thank you so much for the gold and silver. Did not expect to be sitting in a classroom, chugging coffee to stay alive, and seeing this thing take off. And for those asking, I've changed my dosage on my SSRI and haven't really had the anticlimax issue in over a year. Talk to your doctor and see about switching things up if your side effects are causing a huge issue. And also, for those wanting to know about the oil baron, he didn't pan out. Within 3 months, her mom got hit up by several Tinder guys claiming to be part of the oil business and we even had to go to the cops about one for a blackmail issue. Tinder can be amazing and terrifying. Edit 2, I guess now I probably have to show this to my fiancé, to which she will reply, I have no idea what any of that means. Good for you, I guess. I still love her. Edit 3, a few of y'all keep asking, why in today I fucked up. Well, let me tell ya, if I had posted this the day after it happened, this would have been the absolute lowest point of my year. Even worse than my breakup the year before. Not coming, not making her come, looking like a large baby man with a chafed dick. Yeah, that sucked. Just because we got together afterwards and looked back on the day as our starting point does not mean that that night didn't suck us as on the whole. I mean, the dinner and the movies were still bomb though. Thanks for coming to my TED Talk. Final edit, for real y'all, thank you so much for all the well wishes and congratulations. I told her about this post when I got home from work today and she cracked the fuck up when I read it to her. We spent the night repeating history, minus the horrible sex, by watching Labyrinth in the driveway with a makeshift drive-through theater setup. Plot twist, Op was self-proclaimed oil baron. Congrats, though. Shh, don't give away my secrets. The monocle and moustache help pull the whole oil baron look together. And thanks. So you're saying there's a chance. Never let chafing and a loss of eyesight get you down. You can do this. I slept with a girl whose dad came in her room the next morning while I was still under the sheets naked and asked how I slept. One of the most awkward moments of my life. What made it even weirder is that the guy wasn't even mad, he was genuinely asking. I don't know if it's a cultural thing or what, but it was odd. Did you sleep well? Was the room optimum temperature? Did my daughter do all the depraved things you requested? This was a twist at the end. But congrats on the sex, stranger. And I wish you all the luck for your anniversary. Congrats on the sex, stranger is the greatest thing anyone has ever said to me. Thanks. The ending I wasn't expecting, but I needed to hear. Hello fellow heavy sweater. Thanks for the silver fellow sweaty stranger.